How do you make money with meme coins? Let's go over that now. Now, of course, nothing's financial advice, but let's dive in and let's work it out. Dogecoin is the biggest meme coin at the moment. This is at number 11 on the market cap scale. It's 13.5 billion. And then Shiba Inu, Bonk, Pepe, and so on. Anything in the top 100, in my opinion, seemed quite a success. Pepe is almost there. This is very, very new for something to be that good. But we're just going to cover these ones here initially. So having a look at Dogecoin here, this has been going well for a few years. Basically, it was started as a complete meme. It was the original meme coin. It had no kind of value. It was just started as a joke. Way back when, way back all the way down here. And it was essentially to show that blockchains had no value, and then it became exceptionally valuable. Now, at this crazy peak here, which was in 2021, there were people that were millionaires off it. And they hadn't put in much, maybe 50 grand or something like that. And one guy didn't sell anything. You know, a lot of these people think it's going to $1. Elon Musk kind of helped this narrative, not saying it's going to $1, but kind of pushing it, which of course made this candle go right up crazy, and then down it's come. Recently, or we can see over the last year, it's up 14%. Anything that has a high market cap, it's a lot harder to double your gains. So if you're going to go up all the way up here again, it's already done that kind of run up. So if it was going to replace that, or if it was going to meet that again, it's not too likely, in my opinion, just because there's so many more meme coins out there now, and everyone kind of knows that it can or has done that, and therefore people would take profit far more religiously, I think. This is the Twitter for Dogecoin. You can see 3.8 million followers. This is very much just community created. And any early people in there that still had a massive bag would be up tremendously. Although maybe quite a few people have already sold. Shiba Inu, this was quite the success story, to be perfectly honest. I did hear about this way back when it was like nothing, like the volume was insane. And a lot of people that aren't familiar with blockchains, or maybe slightly familiar, would say things like, well, if only I bought it here, here, or here. The reality is, the gas fees at this time would mean that you'd probably spend about $70 to $120 just doing a swap on Ethereum at this particular time. So, you know, if you did a swap, you would have probably got a little bit of the token, or a decent amount of token in hindsight. However, it wouldn't have been worth it. This was definitely just taking a punt. Ethereum is not a good blockchain, in my opinion, for meme coins. It did a run up, it came back down, and then it went crazy. The thing is, a lot of people here were hoping that this would be one day worth a cent. And at those calculations, it's just an impossibility, to be perfectly honest. But I'm pretty sure this is the greatest return ever to be had. I'm pretty sure. It's insane. Like, you know, buying $100 worth at that point and then selling at that point. I believe, I'm not going to do the math here, but I believe it's like almost $1 billion, or over $1 billion. It's insane. If you have a look at the Twitter here, 3.7 million followers, and they have the golden tick, meaning they've been verified as a company. Now, a lot of the trading for SHIB, this would all be done via exchange. So you're not actually going to be buying on the Ethereum blockchain unless you're a bit of a whale. You can't do like a $10 daily cost average or anything like that. You'd be buying on Coinbase or Binance or your favorite exchange. So for the memes, I have no idea how successful it's going to be. I don't look into any of this stuff anymore because I don't have any of the token anymore. Let's have a look at Pepe. Pepe came to fame earlier in the year. Once again, from nothing. Once again, I knew about it down here, but I just faded it and it went crazy and it's never recovered. Now, Pepe is a popular meme in the crypto world, Pepe the Frog. However, I don't think it has a huge amount of substance to go much further. I mean, it'll probably do very, very well because it's based on whales and things like that. But once again, this is on the Ethereum blockchain, and I mean, it's down considerably. That's not like a bad thing necessarily, but I don't know how memeable Pepe really is. The market cap is under $1 billion, and the ranking is 105. And they also have a pretty decent Twitter here, 530,000 followers. Next up, we've got Bonk. Bonk is ranked number 51, and I can give you a lot of information about Bonk because I'm very, very familiar with it. But I'll just give you a quick little bit of history. So it's on Solana. It was launched Christmas Day last year. It was a free airdrop to so many communities. and then it just kind of grew and grew. However, it actually went from here to here very fast, and this was crazy. Like, some people got a decent airdrop by being in like a Solana DAO, like a development DAO, and at the top that was worth $80,000 to $100,000, and they sold it. Most of them sold it pretty early, and then it went through this period here where it went down. Actually, at this point, someone sold a huge amount for like 700 grand or whatever, drained a lot of liquidity, and that kind of stopped all that kind of forward momentum. But this is bear market. This is bear market vibes. The fact that it even took off the way it did was quite impressive. The other thing is, this was basically, it was introduced as a solution to try and get the community back together after SBF and FTX just rugged the entirety of Solana, and to a greater extent, also just crypto in general. So this went down like this, and I was liquidity farming it in liquidity pools and just crazy impermanent loss. And then in May, I pulled out some of the funds, and then I ended up selling the Bonk because I needed some money, and I wish I didn't. It was over $1 billion Bonk, and then it just went crazy. Now, even though this has a market cap of 1.5 billion and the rank is 51, this is quite probably going to go 5x this amount, in my opinion. Now, this is definitely not financial advice. The reason why I think this is because Bonk has a whole lot of trust. I believe there's about 10 founding members, people that are prominent in the Solana ecosystem, and they're part of the team. And it's essentially a way to put Solana out there. They have a lot of activities going on. They've got a massive website full of things that you can do with Bonk, and they have the 12 days of Bonkmas. This is still very much a community-led effort. However, I do think it would be pretty successful just because so many wallets have it. I was told today there are more wallets with Bonk in it than Solana. I'm not sure entirely if that's true, but I'm pretty sure it's in the top 3, like Sol, USDC, or Bonk. So I do think Bonk can go further. I think it's kind of the highest chance to go further. And one other reason with this is if you're on the Solana blockchain and if you have a friend that wants to get onboarded, you could send them like $5 worth of Bonk. You could send that to 10 people. That's $50 worth of Bonk. It's pretty minor in the grand scheme of crypto. To a new friend, they've just got some Bonk. They're looking at it on their Phantom wallet. They're like, okay, this is cool. It's us going up. And that kind of brings more people into the Solana ecosystem. And the thing is, the cost to send it is so tiny. So this is where it's way easier to onboard people. Now, of course, it's not the only token on Solana which has potential. There's also Guacamole. And although I'm not very excited for Guacamole, it has done very well. We can see along it came, nothing, up it went, and then a crazy run up, and then retracing quite significantly. The market cap for this is 40 million. So you could say that this has a lot more room to grow. However, one important thing is, we'll have a look at their Twitter. Personally, I don't think Guac will be successful because it has food as its meta, and food is not something that is successful now. There was basically this narrative in 2021 when DeFi farming kind of came into being. And as far as I'm aware, the only thing that's really successful from that period is Pancake Swap, which has cake as a token, and also Sushi Swap, which of course has sushi. But there are actually hundreds, if not thousands, of food-related items. And they were normally from DeFi farming, not necessarily from Memecoins, but it didn't really allow the community to really interact with, putting a guacamole icon as your head, having avocado as your face. Doesn't really have that vibe, whereas you can do that with a cutesy animal. A great place to go to find all this information is birdeye.so. I've covered it many times. Here we can see the fully diluted market cap. We cannot always see that here. Here it says 40 million, so sometimes we can on CoinGecko, but if we can't, we can quite often see it on Birdeye. Now, of course, this is different here compared to CoinGecko, but nevertheless, we can see this information here. We can also see the number of holders. This is 15,000. Once this gets to maybe 100,000, it's probably going to be a more successful project, in my opinion. I'm not really sure if Guac did an airdrop to anybody or if it was just completely organic. Next up, we've got Polygon on Solana. Now, Polygon on Solana, this is a meme about Polygon being better on Sol. They've got their ticker here, Polygon. We've got the fully diluted market cap of about $250,000 and not a crazy number of holders. There's someone that I follow in the Memecoin space, Bobby Applerod, and he's very bullish on this. But is he bullish on it, or is he just not very happy with Matic and Polygon? I'm not really sure. Something like this, in my opinion, is not going to have a massive amount of success due to the fact that this is not memeable. All you're doing is you're taking the Polygon Matic icon and putting it onto Solana and then calling it Polygon on Sol. And anybody can do this. So how much can this be memed? Not very much, in my opinion. And it's really about disrespecting the CEO and founder of Polygon. Now, if you see a project like this, maybe it's a good idea to get some early on and then take profits. That's, of course, not financial advice. This just relates to attention on crypto Twitter. If people are pushing it out there, more people tend to buy it. Next, we've got a token, Pepe on Sol. And I have actually never heard of this token, but I just found it recently. And we can see Pepe. This is Pepe on Sol. Quite often when something's successful on another blockchain, someone's going to ship some sort of version onto another blockchain. So maybe it goes onto Cardano, or maybe it comes onto Solana. And all we can see here is it just went down and then down again and up a little bit. So fully diluted market cap, which is just the price times the max total supply, is 180,000 and holders are under 10K. I've never really heard of this until recently, but it's been around for a little bit of time. We also have Pepe on Solana. And with this branding, I would have to say the branding's fine, but the name is strange. Like, is it Peep? Oh, is it Peepo? I don't really know. Peepo? Is it Peepo? I don't even know. Peep Miss? They're following the same kind of strategy as Bonk Miss, which is fine, completely fine. Plus, maybe if you've got some, you'll do well. They also did airdrop to multiple people, and they have been doing quite well. So if we have a refresh here, over here, we can see over a longer period of time. I'm not sure how long they've been around, but they have gone up and then they've come back down a little bit. Obviously ignore this because that's clearly a data issue. And as I mentioned, sometimes you need to go to birdeye.so and you can see it like this. Their fully diluted market cap is 10 million and their holders are 53,000. And one thing that they've done is they have gone and airdropped it to multiple people. You'll normally get an airdrop if you maybe hold an NFT of a particular collection, or maybe you've already got some Bonk and therefore they give you some Bonk like Burn did, which is another meme coin. You can also see a little bit of extra information here, which we'll go over another day. But, just the sentiment. This is not like a great kind of cross section. There's 153 people that like it and 24 that don't, but it still gives you a little bit of information. The TVL here, this is $619,000. If this went up to a couple million, it gives a lot more safety. I'll go back and I'll show you what Bonk's TVL is. So this is the total value locked. This normally refers to the amount of money that's actually in a liquidity pool for people to trade in and out of, as opposed to actually on exchanges. So there's going to be a lot of people that have buy and sell orders on exchanges, and that's also, available to go in and out of the token. But TVL is on-chain liquidity. You can see the volume, the trading, the amount of people that are buying, the amount of people that are selling. However, I'm not sure exactly how this kind of gets its information, because to be honest, if you're going to be selling, someone's going to be buying, and that would be the liquidity provider or the liquidity pool. Nevertheless, if this starts to go higher and higher and higher, then that's quite bullish sentiment, at least short term. And then you can see the top markets where that liquidity is found. And strangely, it says 619K, and then these markets are like this. But I guess if we take this, now I'm not sure why TVL is different, but you can see that I've just gone and refreshed the page, and this has dropped significantly. So these liquidity pools have dropped tremendously from probably when I had this browser open, and then it's come on down quite significantly. So here's the TVL anyway, and let's go and have a look at Bonks. So with Bonk here, holders is 520,000 wallets, and we can see the TVL is $23 million. Scroll on down, we can see there's $31 million worth of liquidity in Sol and Bonk in the Orca pool. And then this here is another protocol, which is Phoenix Trade, I believe, and that's Bonk and USDC, and that's 16.7. And there'll be other markets out there as well. For some reason, it's just not been shown here. However, there's a lot more liquidity here. Now, what about other blockchains? Now, I don't have the bandwidth to cover all the other blockchains, and I hope in the future I can via other people, but of course, there will be meme coins on many, many blockchains, such as Snake. Now, this is on Cardano, and this did very, very well for those that got in early. I believe it's probably the biggest meme coin on Cardano, and I don't like the branding. I don't think it's very amazing in any way. People are just buying this, and you're probably just watching this video in order to make a profitable decision, which is understandable, completely fair enough. So here's a token here, Snake, and all-time low 2 months ago. Well, it's up a lot more than that. One thing that can happen is sometimes it gets listed on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap quite late, and by that stage, it's already done, it's gone up 10x. So it's already gone up 1,000%, and then they list it, and then it continues to go up. So early on, maybe putting in $100 right now at this top, it could potentially be worth $50,000, $20,000. I'm not actually sure, but it's done very, very well. You can see, just zooming out all the way. Well, we've already zoomed out all the way here. Here it was, cheap, did a run up, came back down. And, around this time when no one's really talking about things, would have been a good time to buy, and then up it goes. But to be honest, I didn't think things were going to kick into full gear in early November like they did. So we just kind of got lucky. Also, it's like a rising tide. If one project starts to go up, anything that's of similar value also goes up. One metaverse project goes up, the others go up. It's just the nature of this kind of game. So if you go to Bird Eye, you can't actually check all of the blockchains. We've got Solana, and then everything else is an EVM. So Cardano's not even on here, but we'll go to BNB chain, and I'm sure there'll be some super successful meme coins here, and you can track people as well. If you put in a little bit of proper effort, you can track wallets and you can see what they're doing, but just be very, very aware that some of these wallets, unfortunately, they are bots, and they'll get in quickly and they'll profit. And then if you follow them, you could get wrecked. However, if you want to degen and you put in the effort, you could do well here, but I'll cover that in the next video. So now let's have a look at an original Dogcoin on Solana. So here, this is SAMOed, and will this have a major spike up? Who knows? Of course, people that put in $1,000, I think they're able to turn it into $1 million way back in the early days. And people that got an airdrop, they did very well as well. What you want to do with an original project is see how active they were in the past. So you can use Twitter advanced search, and from there you can work out if they're actually posting between a particular period, the bear market, go for a minimum number of likes, and then also a period. So we can see May 25th, they're still active on Twitter. So when a project does this, this is a bullish sign because they're here, they're sticking around. They were able to take some profits from their degenerate way of creating some token and actually pay someone at least on Twitter and hopefully on Discord to stick around. If there's a lot of tweets going out there, if there's a lot of activity, this is a good thing to see. But I'm not super familiar with SAMO as a token. We also have a Woof token. This was a crazy one, basically $200, 6 weeks later was worth $1 million. It was absolutely insane. And then from there, not so well. You can see the followers still pretty decent. However, how many are active? You don't know because these followers were mostly accumulated during the bull market. Once again, do a search. See how active they were at a particular time. If they've got a Discord or Telegram, go and look at that sort of stuff. Of course, these things can have a resurgence. However, with Woof, they burnt so much of the supply that I don't know how much the actual team has to continue these marketing efforts. Now, hopefully, they still have a decent little treasury to try and make this super, super popular. But then again, I don't love the logo. Like, I don't feel that's memeable as a logo. So all it is really is a Dogcoin. And if we have a look at that, we can see that the market cap is fairly low and it did this crazy run up and it hasn't had anywhere near the attention of late, unfortunately. But if we compare it to SAMOid and we zoom out here, it's still down tremendously. And I guess you could actually argue it hasn't had the same run up here as well. The market cap's 110 million. So with something that's 110 million, although it's got more safety in it, and they have also got like a website, which I don't think's super, super clean, but at the same time, it's pretty clear as to the tokenomics and stuff. but you can basically see what the tokenomics are, what the white paper is, and stuff like that. You'd have to jump into Discord in order to work out how this was going to be successful, if it could be successful. But I guess it's a little bit more of a memeable token, but I don't really find I'm falling in love with it, to be honest. And by the looks of the charts, no one else is really loving it as much as Bonk either. Now next I've got my pick, and my pick is CHONKY. Now this is not financial advice, this is a meme coin. This can go up crazy, it can lose all of its value. I remember last year I put like $1,000 in one wallet into Memecoins, and the value, like last time I looked at that wallet, was like $6 or something like that. So if you pick something that doesn't have legs, by just rushing it, by degenning it, and by not doing research, you'll normally get burnt. Maybe 1 in 1,000, you might get lucky, but you can't allocate $1,000 1,000 times because, you're going to run out of money. It's not going to be a positive EV trade. So CHONKY here, I like because of a few reasons, but one thing is it's very, very memeable. So I don't even know what this is from. Well, it's Homer Simpson. Clearly, they put CHONKY in there, feeding donuts, and it's kind of funny, right? It's got very cool branding here. The branding was actually just done by Monolith behind the Degen Ape Academy. So that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to have a hugely positive effect. He's not part of the team or anything like that. But already you've got some cool icon. This is funny and it's clearly able to be seen exactly what it is. If we kind of compare to Woof, when you open this up, you can see, oh, there's a Woof. Haha, that's funny. Whereas I didn't actually know that even looked like that until I clicked onto it. Dogecoin is also very, very recognizable, as is Bonk. But regardless, I think CHONKY looks good. They've got a Telegram and they've got some memes. So they already have something where you can just go and download stuff and put out the memes. And this is where it kind of happens very actively. For this to be successful though, in my opinion, you'd need memes to be created. And then you'd need to have this much selfishness and this much generosity. So the early team members that started it, they may think they're geniuses, and maybe they are, but normally they're not. Normally they got lucky with something and it took off. And if they try to replicate it with 10 more projects, it would not work. So if they think, I'm going to hold all of this token here, and I'm not just referring to CHONKY, but I'm referring to any project. If they hold all of that CHONKY or whatever coin it is, and then they just want to give out little bits, and hope that one day they can kind of sell out a whole lot and just live happily ever after, then that is clearly a rug, and that would not make the project even worth considering. So you want to see some sort of plan with the tokenomics, or you want to see airdrops happening. You want to see something that's building up this community. You want to have hundreds of thousands of people. Maybe you've got a challenge where you send it to 10 normie friends. Exactly how you do that is maybe they have to connect their Twitter, they create a wallet, or whatever. Some people do it, some people won't. But it's about onboarding more people. And this is very important. The other thing that I would say is very important is a translation. So it's all in English, which is fine. But if you onboard someone that has Korean as their language and have a Twitter that's for the Korean public, or maybe a portion in Discord or Telegram for the Koreans, that would be very successful. Same with Chinese, same with Spanish. The more you can encompass lots and lots of different people, the more successful something will be. Now, to add all those things immediately is hard. You'd start with a good website first, of course. Then you'd want to be very, very clear with the tokenomics. And you want to make sure that the founders don't have a crazy amount, or maybe it's locked in something. Like you can vest tokens if you want to on Solana. So this is it here. We can see Soul Big Brain has boarded some as well, which is all very cool. But we need to see long-term if it's going to be successful. So what I'm suggesting you would do is you'd go and take a screenshot of this every day. And then the next day, you'd go and refresh it. And you want to see the holders going up. If this holders starts to amount to 100,000, maybe either an airdrop or just people getting onboarded, but definitely some sort of airdrop, and this fully diluted market cap growing and growing, then I think you're onto a bit of a winner. Otherwise, if something runs up this fast and then comes down, I mean, this happens in crypto all the time. It's not like bearish in any way, but Like if it goes up too fast and then comes on down, and then the team doesn't create some sort of plan in order to get these holders to be rewarded, then you're going to mess up. Another thing is you do want liquidity in these markets, but you want to give people that are providing liquidity rewards. So normally when you add a good meme coin, you can have crazy impermanent loss. And with crazy impermanent loss, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So you want to give rewards in addition to trading rewards. So what you do is you reach out to the Radium team and the Orca team. You give them an allocation of the token. The team normally actually keeps some of it, and the rest is used to reward the people that are providing liquidity. And that's just how you do these sort of things. And then from there, you try and get this onto centralized exchanges, and you just build up hype and you build up momentum, and you try and also introduce some tooling. It's nothing too difficult. Many projects have done it in the past, but people don't always know that's what they have to do, and they can get greedy. CHONKY also has a website here. It's pretty good for now, but with more attention, you'd make this a lot cleaner. In general, most of the meme coin websites, in my opinion, just have terrible UI and UX, and that needs to be taken care of. So that's essentially a little bit of history on this sort of stuff, but I haven't really given you a step-by-step plan on how to actually work out if a meme coin's going to be successful. So we'll cover that in the next video. And of course, it's not financial advice. This is degenning. It's fun. You could win, you could lose. So you only ever risk what you're willing to lose. Stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next video.